music. He's like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music. Love, love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. And as you can see, this is a story time. So people seem to like my story times. I think I just like me being embarrassed and stuff and telling y'all my secrets. So today's story time, you can't tell, well, you probably can tell from the title. I sometimes have to play with the title because YouTube be acting funny and certain things they kind of flag as inappropriate, so I can't be just name and stuff whatever I want to name. Just have to kind of be funny about it. Tonight's lipstick is Urban Decay. The color is called Hex, and I got it from Urban Decay. I got it from Sephora. I do like it. I've worn it before. So, I touched on this subject I think last year, like maybe 6-7 months ago. I did a little video because we had the little 40 dick challenge. So part of my 40 dick challenge confession or whatever I put up, what I'm saying, like sometimes you have to just steal a car, but you bring it back. So in my younger years, when I was 17 or 18, I think I was 18 at the time, and excuse me, I'm so sorry, I drink a lot of water and it's 4 a.m. But yeah, I did not get my license until I was in my 20s. Let's say that first. But I knew how to drive. So I don't know how I know how to drive though. Like my dad took me out driving or whatever to teach me, but I didn't get my actual license until I was literally like 22 maybe. But my sister, I have an older sister. She's 1 year older than me, and she had a car. She had a purple Grand Jeep Cherokee, and my sister would always park the car in front of the house, and my parents would park their cars in the driveway. This is at our old house. Again, I was 17 or 18 at the time, and this is around the time I had met and was first talking to the bad guy. Y'all know I talked about him before, and he of course did not live too far. And usually when I would go see him, I did not have a car. And I don't think he did either when I first started talking to him. He got his car later. But I would just get up and I would walk over there. And it wasn't close. Like anybody who's from Detroit, at that particular time we lived on like Conant and Nevada. And the bad guy stayed like on Davidson. So it's like maybe 2 miles, so I would walk like a mile or two to his house or whatever. I had my little shortcut that I would take and everything, go up this little street, cut down there, cross over the railroad tracks, go behind the Coney Island, all these things, I would get over there, whatever. But I finally kind of figured out, like, my sister leaves her keys out all the time. And, I wonder, I don't know what made me first start taking my sister's car, but I was taking it all the goddamn time. And I would just get in there, I would go I will wait. I'm a night owl, as y'all see. I'm always up late. Like it's 4:06 in the morning. I've always been a night owl, one way or the other. And I would wait until everyone was asleep. It'll be like maybe midnight. Because again, as I told you before, my dad would get up for work at like 4 a.m. And so I would wait for them all to be asleep. And I would take my sister's keys. I would sneak out the house. I would then put the key in the ignition, turn it. I wouldn't cut the car on, but I would turn it so the lights come on. I would then put the car in drive, push it up the street about 5 or 6 houses, and start the car from a block up. Because I'm like, if I start the car in front of the house, they might hear it. So I need to pull off, pull up so they can't hear me start the car. So that was how I would take the car. So I would always do that. I would go pick him up. We wouldn't even go anywhere. I would like go over there and like just sit outside in the car and talk to him, or we might like drive to get some food, like macaroni, I don't know, whatever. We never drove anywhere far, never anywhere like out there. It was so stupid, and I would do it like all the time. And so when I would come back to the house, I would pull up maybe like a block before our house, and I could see if the lights were on in our living room, so I'll be able to know if my dad is up. Because God forbid when my dad would come downstairs for work, he would come downstairs and look out the front window. We had a big, huge bay window in the front because my sister's car was outside. So luckily, I never got caught that way. However, one time I was over his house, and my friend across the street, her mom was like, "Hey, I need you to like take me here or somewhere." She wanted me to take her somewhere, and I was like, "Oh no, I can't drive that far," because I wasn't trying to be joyriding. I wasn't trying to be driving all around town, because again, I ain't had no license, and I really, I could drive to get where I had to go, but I wasn't like no professional getaway driver or whatever. So I was like, "Well, no, I can't go that far. I can't take you somewhere." So my friend's mom got upset. She knew that I was taking my sister's car. Like, she was fully aware that when I came over in the car, I stole it. She didn't care, because usually I would like take her to the store around the corner. Like, I would take her somewhere that was really, really close, not anywhere that was far. So this is the first time she had me take her somewhere like we was on the east side. She wanted me to go somewhere on the west side, and I was like, no, I can't do that, and I will probably not be able to get back in time, for my dad. Honey, she got upset at me, and she called my mom and my daddy. She called my parents, and I was literally sitting in the car. It was me, the bad guy in the car, and I looked and I seen this headlights coming up from behind us, and I was like, why are you driving so fast? It was just weird. And I looked and I was like, oh, that's my parents. And I froze. I was terrified. I was so scared, because again, they had no idea I was still in the car. So I was like, shit, I'm going to be in so much trouble. And no, that ain't what happened the first time. That ain't what happened. No. Before that, I took her car once to go over his house, and we left and drove somewhere, and she ended up getting a fucking flat tire. I got a flat tire when I was still in my sister's car at night. I was so panicked. The bad guy did not know how to change the tire. I ended up we called someone else to come change the tire and put the donut on. Because again, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, so there's no tire place open. I can't get her tire fixed. I don't know nothing about tires. I don't know nothing. And all he said we could do was, he said, because it was it was flat, so we couldn't even get it fixed that night. Put nothing. We could only put the donut on the car. So I was like, they gonna kill me. I said, I can't. I'm like, they gonna realize that it's a donut on the car. Like, what I'm gonna do? So I drove the car home with the donut on the car, and I packed a bag and ran away from home, because I was like, my parents is gonna kill, my sister is gonna kill me dead. Okay, she's gonna kill me dead, bitch. And I packed a little bag, and I went back to my friend's house who stayed across the street from the bad guy. And it was crazy. They were calling, because my sister went to her car in the morning to go to work or school. I think, was she in school then? No, she was at work, to go to work. And she had a donut on her car. And she was like, how the hell is a donut on my car? And it goes, I was gone. So it was, and again, they had no idea I was still in her car. That's how they found out that I was still in the car. So I think there was calling. Because I was terrified. I was terrified. In fact, was I 17? I must have been 17. So it was like my senior year of high school. And I was just so scared. So I was gone for days. Because I was just at my friend's house. Because I was like, they're going to kill me. I still went to school, but I would just not go home. And then finally I went home. And they was like, Jaylee, did you think we would not see the car in the donut? And I'm like, I just assumed that y'all would think Veronica put the donut on the car. And they was like, I was so stupid. I was so dumb and idiotic and stupid. So I got in trouble. I think I was put on punishment. because my sister had to like spend money to get a new tire. And she's like, that's why I would get in my car and the seat would always be a little bit off. And I would get in my car and the gas was always a little bit less. I kept thinking I was going crazy. It would do this whole time. And I got like, she fussed and fussed and fussed and fussed and fussed. It was crazy. So after that, like, she started keeping her keys like by her bed. But my sister still slept pretty soundly, so I started still taking the car. And the next time I took it was when my friend's mom got pissed that I would not take her somewhere, and she called for my parents. So my parents pulled up. They were pissed off because they had told me you can't be doing this, and I did it anyway. And my mom was so pissed. It was so funny when she pulled up and she was my mama was at the window, like at the window, and saw me. And I said, if I just pull off, she won't know it's me. She won't even see me. And I tried to pull off, and she said, you gonna try to pull off with me right here? And my mom, like, don't get mad, like, she don't cuss, any of that stuff. And she was mad. Like, she was so pissed off. And my dad was just like, this is just so crazy. This is just so crazy. Because, again, the bad guys in the car with me, we were just, like, we wasn't smoking. We were just sitting in the car. And then she was like, get out the car. Get out the car. And I was like, but I just took the car real, like, I didn't go. And she was like, I don't want to hear. Shut up. And I was like, oh, crap. I'm really, really in trouble. And like, my dad drove one of their car back. My mom drove my sister's car back. She's like, you want to be over here with him? Then stay with him. And I was like, well, fine. Okay, fine. So I was like, oh, my God. So basically, this time, I got put out the house. My mom was very, 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 she was very upset with me. That was I don't know if she like put me out fully, but it was more of a thing of, you can't live. We told you what not to do and you keep doing it. Like, okay, we'll stay over there. Well, I couldn't stay over there all the time. I had to go to school. Like, they couldn't pay for me. It was like, man, look, this was one time in my life when shit got real. Cause I stayed at my friend's house across the street from him for like 2 or 3 days. I went and stayed with him for a couple of days, but I ain't like being over there with him either because they had roaches. And I was thinking, like, I don't want to be living in no roaches, and we don't do roaches in my house. And yes, he had roaches back then. And I went to my cousin's house I went to my Aunt Willie's house, who passed away since then. I was at her house for a couple of days, and I caught the bus. From the east side to the west side at like, it was nighttime. And I called and I said, Aunt Willie, I'm gonna come over tonight, so I'm gonna get there like 10 o'clock. So I just want you to be up, because my Aunt Willie was old. She's like, okay, all right. And so I was there for like 3 days, and then from there I went to my cousin Nay's house, and I was at Nay's house for like a week with her and my Aunt Sherry, who also has passed away since then. And then finally she was like, I think I talked to my mom, and she was very pissed. It was a good like 2 weeks that I wasn't at home, because she was, because I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I did fucked up shit. So I think when I finally talked to my mom, the whole time I was gone, she was still like, she was going crazy. I wasn't home, but she knew where I was. Like, I was safely with family. So I think that's the only reason she didn't like make me come home sooner. But it was saying, she wanted me to apologize, and I did, but I still didn't think I did stuff as wrong as I did, because I was thinking, like, I just borrowed the car. It wasn't that big of an issue. And so I was like, well, okay, I can't steal my sister's car no more. So instead, I would take my mama's car or my dad's car, or my cousins would come in town from out of town. My cousins Tanisha and Anthony, and I would take their car. My uncle Andrew would come into town. I would take his rental. Like, I was just taking all the family cars. Like, I was just stealing cars left and right, because they would go out and party or whatever. Because back in the day, my dad would they had a party company. They would have cabarets, and they would go out. So when they would go out, they would take like one car. They would not take their own car. So like, if my uncle was in town, because it was all being in town at the same time, so it'd be like all these cars at the house. And because usually one of their cars was like blocking someone else's car, they would leave all the keys at the house. Or plus, because they was all riding together, they didn't need the car keys with them. And at the time, they didn't know I was still in the cars. I think this might have been before I was still in my sister's car. I think when I was taking their car, before and after. And so my cousins would come to town. I would take their car and like just drive around. But my parents would be asleep. Me and my brother and my cousins would get up. We would like drive to get food, and they'd be like, "Jay Lee is really like just take like I had a whole system. Like they gone. This is how long we can be gone." And they're like, "You." And cause then they couldn't drive. I could drive because I was taking all the cars. So when I finally got caught with my sister's stuff, I never admitted to them that I was taking their cars too. They didn't even think about it. It wasn't until I think like I was in my 20s and I admitted, well, y'all know I wasn't just taking Veronica car. I was taking y'all car too. And I told my uncle, I told my cousins, like, yeah, y'all would come in town, and y'all be going to y'all little cabarets or whatever. And I would be riding y'all car, and they would all say, because I'm short, I'm only 5 feet. And so when I would ride a car, I would have to push the seat all the way up because I couldn't reach the pedal. And I probably might have been shorter back then. So I would not be able to put the seat exactly back to where it was. But by the time they came back and they were so tired from drinking or whatever, they just assumed they didn't do, something right, so they didn't think about it. But yeah, I was still and when I say still in car, like I would always bring the car back. Only that one time that I messed up my sister's tire that I, messed the car up, but I always put it back safely. I did. And it was literally all so that I can go see the bad guy. Because at that point in time, like for that year, he didn't have a car. I think he didn't get a car until maybe like a year or two after we was talking. Because I was 17 when we started talking, and he was 19. So, he didn't have a car at the time. He didn't get a car till later. So I would just steal a car. Because we had, it was buku cars in my house. It was whatever. We had cars galore in my house. And who cares? And it was just, so yeah, I would just, I would steal cars to go see a boy. And then they got me put out my mama's house, my parents' house for about 2 weeks. So I remember being on the bus because I like packed a suitcase and everything. Like, I don't care. I'll be found on my own. Thinking I was young and stupid, really young and stupid. I mean, I tell you all the time, God, thank God my mom was a praying woman, because I'm alive by the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? I have these funny stories, but it's some harsh stuff too that I had to go through, just dealing with, that dude, and dealing with just things in life. So when I can stop and talk about, when I can laugh and say, yeah, I stole cars from my parents, and I stole my parents' cars, stole my uncle, all that. That's the good, funny stuff. But I'm like, it's a blessing that I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? I could have got arrested. I could have got pulled over. I could have got car. Well, I was carjacked. Real quick. I had a 2005. I've never told this story. Should I do it in a separate one? I'm gonna give y'all two. I'm gonna give y'all two. So I'm gonna end this right here so I can get this one uploaded. I'm gonna do two for y'all. So yeah, I'm Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Peace.